Gamers, ChuggerX here. In our last video, we found out how most people farm wool, and today we're going to learn a new method. But what's with this green E down here? I wonder, does it mean efficient? Easy? Ethical? Really? Ethical farms? In Minecraft? Hey, let's go find out. But first, why farm wool? What you don't want to have happen is you reach mid to late game without wool, because you're probably going to want it. And this is a very, very slow way to get it. By starting a wool farm early, you'll have plenty when you need it. And what might you need wool for? Well, building rainbows, of course, or whatever colorful thing you want to make. Or maybe you want to blow up stuff. Lots of stuff. To get that, wool is also a good trade with these guys, shepherds. You can farm emeralds. So last time we covered this farm, sheep in cells, with observers and dispensers using shears. This is what most people make. I assumed it would be the most efficient. I, however, don't think it's particularly ethical. Okay, you can laugh at me, but I don't like the idea of trapping animals in these tiny little cells. And yes, I know it's just a game. I know they're just pixels. But still, it doesn't make me all that happy. And I play the game to be happy. Maybe some of you feel the same way. If you don't, I'm not judging. Yes, it is a game. Play how you want. Anyway, I thought this would be a nicer farm for the sheep, and it does work. Basically, they get to be close to other sheep, in contact with other sheep. They can see the sky. They can move around. It's still a pen. So, yeah, is it really ethical? I mean, is any farm in Minecraft possibly even remotely ethical? Well, some are more ethical than others. So let's think of it that way. And again, I'm kind of playing fast and loose with the word ethical. Don't let it bog you down. And again, I'm really not judging anyone and how they play the game. So what we have here is the sheep walk around, and as they do, they eat grass, get their wool back, and they eventually go step on a pressure plate and get sheared. And this little train system collects the wool. Now, I made this and had it running in the background while I worked on the other farm in the first video. And I want you to look at that. That is what it collected. It broke the shears that I put in the dispensers. They were gone. So I locked this hopper and ran a test. Let's go over and look at the other one. Again, I assume most people make this one. I assume it's got to be the better farm. So I locked this hopper and I ran both farms for, I think, a couple of hours. That's how much wool it got. Maybe 2.5 stacks, not quite. In the same period of time, I ran this one and got that much. Almost 4 times as much. Now maybe I'm doing something wrong here. If I am, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure the farm behind me is the right way to go. It's efficient, it makes more wool, and the sheep are a little happier. Let's make this thing. First, mark off a 7x10 area in a grassy place. Now remember, from the last video, you want this to be in a biome where sheep are available. In fact, you may want to pin some sheep up in a fenced area to keep them safe. Maybe breed them up a little while you build. And make sure this farm is going to be in a place that you're going to keep active for long periods of time, like near your base, near your other farms. Any wool farm takes many, many hours running in the background to fill chests with wool. And that's what you want, lots of wool. Now dig it out too deep. There we are, a 7x10 pit. I have marked out the middle where the tracks go for our minecart in stone, but you don't have to. However, leave the grass around the top here. Start by placing powered rails in the corner here. Now place regular rails like this. Place 2 hoppers pointing into the dirt like this. Remove this dirt to make some room and put our first collection chest right here. Put the rails right over the hoppers and continue going around. Whoops. Here in the middle, make a hole like this and put a redstone torch. Cover it back up, and that way we can add some power to make sure the minecart goes fast. Now keep doing rails. And here at the end you can do 3 or 2, it doesn't really matter. Power them up with levers, and that's it. Now, if you're expecting really high drop rates, this part is optional. You can always add another hopper and chest system over here. This way, you're extracting 8 wool blocks every time the cart goes by, instead of just 4. You don't want the cart to back up with a lot of wool in it that isn't being extracted. But usually these farms are so slow that that isn't a problem. But if you experience that, just add more hoppers. Now we just cover it. With grass blocks preferably, that will be fast. Leave 1 gap here and do grass blocks all around. Now, you need a silk touch tool to get grass blocks like this. Another way to get grass blocks is to kill an Enderman that is carrying one. It will drop it. Hard to get a lot of them that way, though. Now, you may not have a silk touch tool, and that's okay. If that's the case, you can just fill this in with dirt. Once you're finished, go make a sandwich. Come back, and you'll discover that the grass has only spread out a little. And it won't have covered the whole thing. Go exercise maybe? Maybe watch some other Chuggerx videos. And in time, the grass will have spread all the way across. If you want to speed it up, try this. Make a piston. Place it so it can move grass blocks into the target area. And push. The grass blocks out into place. Even if you just push a few out into the middle, it'll vastly speed up the time it takes to cover this up. Notice, we're leaving a rim of air around this system. That's because hopper minecarts, or all minecarts, drag against blocks if they go next to them, and it slows them down. So for them to go the proper speed, for them to go fast, you want air. Now it looks like this, and we make the pen. I'm going to use glass. The important thing, though, is to make sure you have the corners right. It's easy to get confused. So the sheep will live in here over the stone area I made below. Let's find this other corner. It's right here. So if you're using glass to make your pen, make it too high and just fill around. You can also use fencing. Just go too high. Might be a little easier. You want to go too high because we're going to have dispensers in this wall, and they can escape over the dispenser. Let's go back to glass. All right, it should look something like that. We can add the dispensers now. One goes in the middle here, and here. And by the way, I think this farm is easier to make than the one with cells. Might require a little more rail, but that's not hard. It does require dispensers, but you don't need observers. Observers require quartz from the nether. And that can be a little difficult for some people early game. I'll discuss how you get dispensers and rail towards the end of the video. All right, now let's just add shears. I'm only putting one in each. You should put at least 3. Whoops, not the lever. Make sure nothing else goes in there. And if you want this farm to run a long time without you needing to check it, go ahead and put 9 in each one if you have the iron. Otherwise, as you find iron, you can keep adding more shears until this thing is loaded really well and set to run for a long time. Now use a pressure plate, wood, stone, doesn't matter, I'm using stone. And that's it. Place a hopper minecart. Let's lure in some sheep. Just make a little step here with temporary blocks. I use 4 for a farm this size, but you could probably squeeze in more. I just want them to be happy. Okay, come on in. You'll like it in here, I hope. And there we go. Now it's running. They're already shorn. Check it out. I think you could go as many as 8 if you want efficiency. If you put in more than 4, you just have to make sure that the grass is restoring itself fast enough to keep up with their need to eat. 4 in there. One in there. We got 5 so far. But look, more is coming in. Haha, it's working. This is great. So if you want to get all 16 colors of wool coming in at once, you may need to build 4 of these, or build 2 of them and put 8 in each, see if that works. Or make one like this, but stretch it out a little more. You can always make it longer and put more dispensers. I wouldn't make it any wider than this because you need to keep them closer to the dispensers. If you make it wider, put some glass blocks in the middle as barriers so they kind of have to go closer to the dispensers. Okay, dispensers. Dispensers are really the only hard thing to make early game for this farm. And this is how they're made. Cobblestone, a redstone, and a bow, like that. And you've got a dispenser. The bow is probably the hard part. If you can find a village, this is a great way early game to get bows. Make a fletching table. It's just 4 planks with 2 gravel on top. Look, he's ready to trade. He's ready to buy up all our sticks. Sell him a whole bunch of sticks. Several stacks, easy to get. He's going to skill up. Check it out, he's skilled up. Now he sells a bow. Buy his bows. Sell him sticks. Buy his bows. Make dispensers. Easy. The other way to get sticks, early game, is to kill skeletons, or kill spiders, or find an abandoned mine shaft and use a sword to harvest the string and just build bows out of sticks and string. One way or the other, it's not that hard to get. And like I said, the earlier in the game you get these farms running, the more wool you'll have. When they have their wool like this, right-click them with dye, change their color, and you'll harvest wool that's red or purple or pink or whatever you want. And then if you want to change it, let it grow back its wool, right-click it again, and it will start making wool from that point on, whatever color you changed it to. Redstone is most common down in the bottom 10 layers of the world. Just mine way down there, use an iron pickaxe, you'll eventually get enough. It might take a while, but it's doable. Once you have redstone, powered rails are pretty easy to make. Just find some gold. It's not that hard. Normal rails just need iron and sticks. You can also find plenty of them in abandoned mine shafts. That's basically it, except let's set these poor little guys free. There you go. Get out of there. Another one over here. Be free. Move around. I hope you enjoyed this series, and I bet some of you are as surprised as I am to learn how efficient and good this farm is compared to the cells. Might also make you happier. Give it a try. Please like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell. I'll be making more farms. This has been Chugger X. Take care.